Good morning, good evening, good night, and welcome to Pass on Your Crown podcast. And I'm your host, Pattie J. Why you start up like that?
You just started.
I didn't even. I
just
swear to
start.
God, I was like,
All right, that's how I be starting it.
I'm sorry.
Y'all weren't ready. Come on, get together.
Because you was on the phone. You said, all right, let me get it. And you just said,
All right, my bad.
good morning, New
3,
York.
2,
shit.
1.
It say good morning,
I'm
good
sorry.
evening,
All right,
good night, and welcome to Pass on Your Crown
I
podcast.
apologize.
And I'm your host, Pattie J. That's how we started. We're going to keep that in just like that because I ain't saying it again. And on today's episode, we have two incredible guests. And one is JD. Y'all might remember his voice from the other platform I was on. And y'all And we have another guest here named Dajour. JD, he likes to be, private. You'll never see his face. You'll only hear his voice. So we're not going to go too much into who he is and what he does because, he private. But Dajour is a multifaceted individual balancing fatherhood with a successful career as an entrepreneur and talented singer and rapper.
Yes, sir.
You want to, before we
Yes,
even, because
ma'am.
we usually do it at the end, but I want to do it in the beginning. You want to shout out your Instagram, what you do, things like
just
that.
Dajour, Dajour. You can search it anywhere, Google, Instagram, whatever. It'll come up.
And you have a new song that I like, so you want to tell them about your song?
The single "Blame Me" is off the EP, Chapter 1, Vente Viv. Scheduled to drop within the next 30 days. I'm still trying to figure that out. But "Blame Me," we just did a little platform appearance on the Bar for Bar out there at IMI Studios. Shout out to Chris and the whole team over there. And go stream that when it drops.
Okay, good. Now, I like to start my episodes with roses and thorns. The roses are something positive that happened in your week, and then the thorns are something negative that happened in your week. So would you care to share?
This week,
Yeah.
the negative is I work a 9 to 5. That's always negative. So that's negative. Now positives, I woke up. You know what I mean? Every day is another chance to do better than the day prior. So, just being able to get up and give 110% at anything you're trying to do, trying to accomplish, it's always a positive.
What about you?
I can't really beat that answer. So I'm just going to second what the young man just said.
Me either. The thorn is I'm still out of work because of my hand. The rose is I'm out of work because of my hand.
What happened?
Not
with
really
your
bad
hand?
happened this week for me. I'm good.
Huh?
What happened with your hand?
I have carpal tunnel now. I'm a housekeeper, so
Really?
doing the job itself is wear and tear on the body.
Right.
And yeah. I was making a bed. Bed's as heavy as hell.
Yeah.
Went to go lift up the bed, felt the sharp pain, went to the doctor, got carpal tunnel.
Oh my
So I'm
God.
out because of that.
That's
Yeah, that's it.
crazy.
Yeah. But we're going to first talk about, I have both men here because one is a step parent, JD, and we have an actual biological father, Dajour. Would you like to tell everyone how many children you have?
2 that I know of.
What?
No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Everybody calm down. No, I have two.
Are you open to telling us the genders?
Yeah, little guy and little medium-sized girl.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She actually just texted me today. I love when
Text
she texts
you?
me.
Oh, no.
Cause she don't never text me. I swear she don't. It's just really rare, maybe once every few months. And then she'll just text me either it'd be an emoji or something random.
That's not funny.
Can I'm sorry. I'll get into daddy mode. This is the voice note.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
Let me
I don't
find out
even
she
know
about to
what
be a
that's-
singer.
I don't even know what that's
It sound like she
about.
about to. You got to put that in a song. What
I
you
swear
doing?
she do music though. She do be recording, but yeah, that's
Exactly. Throw her in there.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you?
I have 2 girls that are not mine. And if there's any out there, I don't know yet. So that's that.
All right, let's dive into the questions. First question is for you, JD. When you're out with your stepdaughters and someone asks if they're yours, do you mention that they're your stepchildren?
No, I would just call them my daughters.
Okay.
I feel like you only do that if you don't like the kids.
I'm weak.
Nah, that's tough.
Seriously. 'Cause if I didn't like the kids, I would definitely put stepkids.
I don't feel like
Separation.
I don't feel like
like
that's, I don't
yeah.
feel like that's the only situation though.
Someone else would you put that?
I mean, some steppops just have maybe they have a relationship with the biological father to some degree to where
Respect type
respect
thing.
kind of. You feel me?
I understand that.
Well, then the question for you, Dajour, would be: would you be offended if you found out that the step parent to your children called them their own?
In the past, I was when I was fresh to that concept and that dynamic. It definitely made me feel away because it's no, he's who he is. That's his name, baby girl. Say his name. You know what I mean? Don't claim my child. However, I understand that when you make decisions in life, you know what I mean. You decide not to be with the other parent or whatever it may be. You're accepting everything that comes with that. And one of the predominant things that end up happening is relationships progress. They move on. You feel me? You move on, she moves on, and then there's somebody else there playing that role when you're not. So that comes with the territory, and you gotta mature through that and accept that that's just what it is. So to answer your question, nah, not anymore, but I used to be
I mean,
offended.
for me, my children's father, he's dating another woman. He's dated other women. I never felt the way if my kids, if they called them my children my own. I looked at it as a good thing. Because if a woman could say that my children are like her own, I feel like she's going to treat them like that. She's going to care for them, make sure they're good. When
Right.
they're in her care, she actually makes sure she treats them right. So that's why for me, I didn't care. But then that brings me to the next question of, do you feel a way if your children, if you ever found out your children were calling another man dad?
Yo, that was tough, bro. I've been through that. My daughter, she was young when her mom's next baby dad. I don't know. How do you even phrase that? Like,
Second baby
Partner.
father?
yeah, her new partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, new partner, new baby fathers, whatever. She had this thing where she was trying to teach my daughter to call him like a bonus dad, which I personally feel like was just spiteful. But
To make the child say it is weird.
you feel what I'm saying? So my daughter was young, like younger, I should say, like maybe like 3, 4. And I had to like go through that emotionally. Like it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, that shit bothered me. Like I was just like, what do you mean a bonus dad? What are you talking about? I'm about to kick you in your chest. Like I'm your
real
only
though.
pops.
That's
Like,
real.
I'm here. Like, I'm like, it's not because that's the whack part. It's like it's not even like I'm not there. Like
Yeah.
I have you half the time. Like you feel me? Like so it's like.
Yeah. Especially if you're active.
But we had to teach her that. So she was young. I couldn't blame her. But yeah, it did make me feel away. But once again,
I think it's only natural to feel that way though.
Yeah,
At
right.
first, that's your child. You
First,
you
too.
created this. This is mine. So it's like,
But then with you being a step parent, do you feel like you felt uncomfortable if your stepchildren were to call you dad? Like on their own, not that the mom made them call you that.
no, because like my parents split. So my dad, there's 3 of us. So he's dated women who've had children too. So like when we're out, he calls people, these are my kids. So I get that from him. Type of thing. So my thing at the end of the day is, as long as you treat the way they're supposed to be treated, then it's like that's all that really matters.
Funny enough for me, my younger daughter used to have a phase where she used to call my baby father's other baby mom. But her and I are cool, so I never felt some type of way. And the way she is, like the person she is, when I actually got to know her, I understood when my daughter felt that way about her because she genuinely cared for my. She still does. She sends them gifts still to this day, and we
See,
talk
that's-
all the time.
That's dope. That's a dope dynamic to have. More times than not, that's an anomaly. You feel me? That's a rarity. A lot of times, especially on a fresh breakup, first child around, y'all are going through people. You know what I mean? For the most part, on average.
Yeah, it's never usually the
It's
next
never-
partner
feel
is the
me?
one you
So
stay
it's
with.
like you still got that era of don't just be bringing anybody around. But it's like that. I feel like that's also just another way to try to be possessive and controlling. But
And it's crazy because you brought up that was one of my questions. Like, because I do know, like, in the parent realm, we kind of have that thing in the beginning. Like, I don't want nobody around my kid, this and this and that. I did that in the beginning at first.
We all did.
Only because of how the breakup happened. Like, he was
Exactly.
always cheating. So I'm like, I don't want none of these girls you're cheating on me with to be around my kids. That was just my opinion. But I feel like it's selfish. Like, I feel like you should have a time frame of when you allow your children to meet a person. But if you feel confident in letting that person meet the person, the other baby mother, the baby father should be confident in that too. Like, you're not gonna bring nobody around your kids that's gonna harm them.
that's a no. I agree with you though. I do agree with you for the most part.
But then,
yeah, go ahead.
in some ways, I feel like it comes from y'all feeling like men, like baby mothers, like we're naive and gullible. Like we'll just be with.
I think it works both ways though. I think we all do that. Like I said, I agree with you. Like I went through that too. Like, yo, don't bring nobody. I need to meet him first. No, you don't. No, you don't. There's a part of you that your pride, your ego is affected right now. You still want that dominion over.
I need to okay this
You know what I'm
person.
saying?
Yeah.
I need to, like, you know what I'm saying? And that also let's just be real. Let's be transparent. That's also another way of you still trying to keep some type of connection to that person.
That's true.
Because you just procreated life together. Like y'all just brought a little human to the world.
That's true.
Like why would there not still be residual love? You feel
But
me?
for me, like it's gonna sound kind of harsh, but I don't care about my baby father's opinion on the man I'm dating because he's nuts. So it's like you're a little mentally unstable yourself. How could you give me advice on who this person is in my life?
I think at the end of the day, it still boils down to like that's still the biological father of the child. So it's like you can have your opinion, but your child is going to develop their own opinion about who that person
I think my
is.
child's opinion trumps his opinion. That's just
Yeah.
me. If my
No, of
children
course,
are
of
being treated
course.
with love, and if my children say they don't like somebody, that's it. It's clipped. But if my children would love and respect that person, and I see the person treats my children with love and respect, what he feels doesn't matter to me. Because if he's then gonna argue with that after knowing that we're all safe, you're just being bitter, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like I said, I still stand on the fact that there should be some type of transparency and conversation that happens
Yeah, of course.
prior. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
possible, it's all about what's applicable to your circumstances because not everybody has a dynamic with the. Like for instance, I keep it a being with you. My daughter's mom and I, we don't speak at all. Like there's no communication, and everybody always likes to ask, "Oh, how do y'all speak?" To our parents. I mean, like our parents, we have a strong support system on both sides of the family. So our mothers talk a lot, speak a lot. You feel me? So when it comes to the exchanges, we already did everything we need to do in court. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I know what the rate is for child support. She knows my schedule. I know her schedule with the kid. It's nothing to talk about. My son's mom and I, on the other hand, are we besties? You know what I mean? She just sent me some little show to watch, to start streaming or something like that. Like we talk. You feel me? It's the craziest thing in the world because you sit back and you go, damn, like I wish I had that with my daughter's mom. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's all about what's applicable to your circumstances. So if you don't have that dynamic with him, then, you free to bring whoever you need to that makes you feel comfortable, that you validate as okay. If
And
not,
for me, I think for y'all, like y'all it's a boundary thing. Is sometimes you have to remove yourself and not
Yeah.
communicate with that. And people don't understand that. Like some people may look at it as immaturity, but sometimes you don't know what happened between those two people as to why they cannot communicate.
Right.
Like maybe it's safer for both parties to keep that separation and have your parents be involved. People gotta just
100%.
understand and respect that. Because me and my kid's father rarely speak. He'll try to have conversation with me, try to be my friend, but because of the past, we're not friends.
You gotta let that go though.
I don't know if I could let that go.
You gotta forgive. The Bible
I
speaks.
forgive him.
You know the Bible
but do I
speaks
allow
about
him to
forgiveness.
participate in my life after I forgave him? No.
Participate to what capacity though?
Be like talk to me outside of the kids.
Okay, all right.
We're not having conversations. He wants to have like a relationship to like your second baby mother's relationship where y'all talk about stuff and I've attempted in the past. I'm not gonna lie, I have, but he just takes things too far.
I feel you.
And it starts to cross too many boundaries, and it's just like,
boundaries,
all
yeah.
right, you being weird. Like
I feel you.
So no,
He want that old thing back.
absolutely not, absolutely not. And he got 2 more baby mamas.
Oh, he's really outside.
He was
Still got you on his
outside.
body.
He was outside.
You still on his body.
Kiss my behind. But as far as dating, have you ever dated a woman with children?
Many times.
How was that experience for you? You being the step parent.
It was cool. Like I don't even call myself a step parent. I'm just Dajour or Buddha, whichever one you know me by when I'm there. Because I feel like to be a step parent, you have to be committed to that idea. You know what I'm saying? And that relationship. Not as far as with the person, but as far as with the child. Like, and I'm like, any kid that I've interacted with. All right, I'm sorry. I'm a little long with it. I'm gonna give you a story. I'm gonna give you a quick story. The first person I ever dated when I that had a kid, I was 18 years old. I was living in Pennsylvania, and her daughters made me want a daughter. When I was 18, I was like, yo, I want a daughter. Like I have, because she was 4 months, and I was like,
Wait, whoa.
like yeah. I'm 18. I don't know.
How
better.
old was she?
How old? Yeah, I was what.
She had to have been like 20 or 19.
Well, she's still young. I give her grace.
We were all young.
She's
We
still
were all
She's
young.
still
So
yeah.
I used to pick the kid up with her. The baby dad and her would get in an argument. It was the most odd because I'd never been in this position. But
that's tough.
But the daughter loved me. Like she would sleep on my chest. I would be taking all these pictures. And I remember my uncle, he saw one of the pictures one time. And he was like, you're I can curse?
Yeah.
He's like, you're fucking bugging. He's like, if that was my kid, I'd punch you in your face. And he's like, you don't know it one day, but you're going to realize if you ever have a kid and you see another dude hugged up and da-da-da. And I thought he was just hating. I'm not going to lie. I'm like,
Yeah, you young.
I'm hit. Yo, I swear to God, I understand. You know what I mean? So, like, to answer your question, when it comes to dating a woman that has a child, I always make sure that child knows I'm not your dad. Like, not in any kind of offensive or disrespectful way. Like, no, I'm Dajour. And I could play a male figure role in your life, but I'm not your pops. Your pops is right there. That's his name. That's who he is. Like, you know? Because I know how it feels to be in that position. You know what I mean? So, nah, I make sure the kids know. Like I said, that's why I said it's never been a problem with me. It was cool. Like, I never had no issues. Teach
What
them
if dad wasn't around? Would you still have that mindset?
If dad wasn't around and I'm committed to the relationship, holistically, the children, the child, and the moms, and we locked in. I'm your pops. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? I gotta
So
be your
situational.
pops. It's situational. It's circumstantial. Exactly.
Yeah.
You feel
That
me? It
makes
all
sense.
varies. You know what I mean?
And JD, you dating a woman with children now. Is your first relationship with children involved?
Yes, I'm basically dad. I wake up, I make breakfast, I wake them up, get them ready for school. I do that on a daily basis. I check in homework after coming home from work. So
And how's
I'm
the
dad.
experience overall?
I mean, because of how I grew up, I've been family oriented, kind of easy. Because then my mom's at the house too, so she'd be helping out with the kids sometimes too. So it makes it easy, and they're good kids at the end of the day. So that's what makes it easy too.
Y'all gonna both chew me up, but even though I have children, I don't date people with children.
Yeah, we've been through this. We've been through this already.
That's
been
a
through this
preference.
shit already.
I'm really like. I wouldn't even say indifferent. I have no.
But I'll give
No
the reason.
qualms.
I'll
We
give
have
the
no
reason.
qualms at
I'll give the
all.
reason
I know.
why though. I'll give the reason why. The
Talk
reason
to
for
me.
me is because I know how I feel like the children that are in my life outside of my own children and the children in my family, like my friends' children. I look at them like they're my children. So I had a friendship that I had for years. Her and I had a friendship breakup, and she stopped me from seeing my goddaughter. That shit broke my heart so bad that it just turned me off from any idea of being connected with somebody with children. So I guess it rolled over into
So your
dating too.
disposition is derivative of past traumatic events.
Yeah.
It's not even a. I wouldn't even say it's a preference. It's more of a fear response.
I mean, ideally, I wouldn't want to date somebody with kids in general.
But you'd be open
But
to it.
I don't know if I'm open to it.
Not. I mean,
Maybe the trauma is still
that's what I'm about to say.
festering.
Is lingering. It's enough to
Yeah.
kind of influence your decision.
Because we had this talk before. I'm like, if you find a man that has all your qualifications, but he has a kid, and you're like, no, I feel like that's ignorant.
There's a
I
prejudice.
mean,
there. There's a prejudice.
I've been in
there.
that position before in the past where men have had the tech, on the list of things I wanted, but they had a child. And
I can understand if like the baby mom is crazy and then like it's drama, you don't want to deal with that.
I
but,
don't
like,
believe any baby mom is crazy. Well, let me not say that.
All right.
I'll take that
Some
back. I
people
take
are
that back. I
crazy.
take that back. I take that back. I take that back. I take that back.
Baby
But when a
mothers and
man,
baby
no,
fathers,
I have to
both.
see it with my own two eyes for me to believe a man's baby mom is crazy. I'm not gonna just take a man's word for it. Let me put it that
crazy.
way. I'm not gonna just take a man's word for it. I have to see it. You got to show me something.
But you have a bias.
I lived it.
Because with me, I got some proof that this mofo is crazy. He nuts. I have the proof of it.
But I mean, ask you a question. Do you feel like he would say the same thing about you?
That I'm nuts? He has. He definitely has.
So as I'm saying, we all have our prejudices and biases.
Yeah, but he said
Biases.
it without any things to back it up.
There's
It was
there's
just saying it. I have things to back up
His
why I
family
feel
know
the
he
way I
crazy
feel.
though.
I believe it. Trust me, I believe it. I believe it.
And then when me and the baby mom I'm close with had a conversation, she didn't have to, she chose to. Let me take that back. I don't feel that way. She chose to apologize to me because she felt like she just ran with what he said because I wasn't in the picture at the time. So
Okay.
it came off like, oh, I'm gonna listen to him. She had to see with her own two eyes. He's nuts.
I believe. Like I said, as far as that goes, that's your preference. Like that's cool. Like I don't find anything wrong or strange with that. Like just because you have kids doesn't mean that you automatically default to the idea that
I think people need to understand that.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong
Because
with that.
I feel like, to be honest, it's more rare for a woman to say she wouldn't date a man with children than for a man to say he wouldn't date a woman with children.
Nah, not at all. There's
Really?
a lot of women in the world that wouldn't date men with children.
Women that have children that say that?
Women that have children that say that. I haven't ran into it personally. I take that back. I retract that statement.
I think for men will still have children and not want to date women with children. I've seen it.
Men without children don't want to date women with children.
But that's the thing. I respect men's decisions. If they don't want to date me because I have children, I respect that wholeheartedly.
I don't want to date a woman with children depending on what her dynamic with the father is like.
That's a good
If
point.
y'all are too friendly, I'm good. I'm straight. That's still there. You feel me? Like,
What if it's been years? Like, what if they've been, like, the children are, like, 15, 16, and they just cool only because of the,
I'm only 29. I don't even think I'm dating anybody with a...
Listen,
How young were you?
I have my kids young. I have my kids young. So my oldest is 11. She's about to be 12. And I'm about to be 30.
How? Okay.
I was 17 when I got pregnant and had her at 18.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I had my first kid till I was like 21, 22.
Yeah, I was wilding.
You wasn't wilding. That's just
I was
how it
wilding.
worked
I was
out.
wilding. I was wilding. But through therapy, I learned the reason I did that is because I was craving love. And for some reason, my mind connected having a child, unconditional love. That's what I
Correlation.
want.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Now you got two kids that don't leave you alone.
I still stand on that though. It just depends on your dynamic. Like, have a healthy dynamic, have that there. But if you're talking about, sleepovers and it's all like mad conspicuous when y'all
Sleepovers is
texting
crazy.
it.
Sleepovers is crazy.
Come on, like, all right, we're not doing
That's
that.
crazy. But let's go back into, we're going to keep talking about dating for a little bit. What's your thoughts about allowing a woman to meet your children?
My family has told me that I'm too open with that. Like, you feel me? Like, and I might be to some degree.
Put the mic closer to you if you want to talk.
I'm
back.
sorry. Yeah. Hello? Check. Mic
Yeah.
check. Nah, my family told me that I might be a little too open with that, so I chill with it in these in the recent years, of course. But I'm okay. I guess I was okay with it. I was okay with it. Now I'm like, all right, yeah, there is prerequisites and pre-screening that needs to transpire before you meet Princess.
And what's on the pre-screening list?
First of all, your sanity, because I'm learning from recent events. I'm learning from recent events that people wear masks really well, man. And when that shit
Women
come
love
off,
bomb too.
When that shit come off, you realize it's not really Jim Carrey. Like
It's not bombs. They just do house
You
fires
didn't
now.
even catch that. You didn't even catch the punchline. You gonna clip that part. That was a whole punchline. I'm gonna say it one more time. I said people wear masks really well. And when it comes off, you realize it's not funny. It's not Jim Carrey.
I get the mask.
You get the...
Yeah.
I caught it
The
the
movie
first
The
time.
Mask.
All right, I thought y'all was gonna hit that. Oh shit! I guess it wasn't that popping. My bad.
Because you said it second. The first time we didn't catch it, so we kind of messed it up when we didn't catch it the
All
first
right,
time.
my fault. But no, for real, like that's number one. Like where are you at mentally, emotionally, and truth be told, I was actually having a conversation with somebody where I was telling her like, I'm actually like really trying to give my life to God. So I'm really trying to lead in that. I'm trying to. It's a fight, but I'm trying to lead with that. So I think now I'm at this place where it's like, are you a God-fearing woman? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's probably making the list as far as pre-screening goes. But
I'm heavy on that.
right.
Do you believe in God? Heavy on that.
100%.
I definitely dated an atheist before. It's not for the weak.
That's tough.
It's not for the weak. Because they don't get the thought of you're not of prayer. Like
Right.
they don't get that concept.
Right.
Like when you have nothing and you're really like suffering through something, prayer is the only thing that probably keep you sane.
Yeah, you
People
gotta
don't
give it
think
to
that.
God. You gotta let go, give it to God. That's a fact. That's a fact.
God is the reason I ain't in jail.
Feel you.
But Dajour, as a father, have you ever experienced feelings of jealousy when your children were living in the home with their step parent?
I haven't experienced that. You know what I'm saying? He's been around, but I actually met my daughter's mom's new partner. I met him like on a few occasions. I'll be real with you. The first time I heard about him was through my daughter, and I didn't like that.
That's
at
always the
all.
worst way to hear it
Yeah.
the first
I
time.
kind of like almost blacked out. I kind of like low key threatened him than her. Like I ain't threatened him. It was just more so like I got on the phone with him the very next day, found who he is, how many tattoos he got, where he hang out. Yeah,
Social security number, last name, first name.
I'm trying to tell you. When we got on the phone, I'm like, yo, what's up with you? Like, cause my daughter's telling me, yeah, he plays Legos with me and he holds me, and I'm like, what? I'm mad at the moms, like.
Because now it's like, how long you been around? You
Yeah,
to say that
Like,
to
you
me.
feel me? And then I found out more. I'm not gonna even get there, but I found out so much more context to it. I'm like, that's so foul, bro. Like, how would you do that to somebody that's active in their child's life? You know what I'm saying? You can't do that to no man. But yeah, I've experienced that. But as far as living in a home, by that point, I was ambushed. I was sidelined. So like, I didn't get a chance to really experience how I would feel.
Yeah.
Because it was already there. Like, it was just like, this nigga's here. They playing Legos and shit. What am I gonna do about that? Like, I had to. So yeah, like it can hit. Like that's why I say like earlier, just if he's there, if the pops is there, just because you don't like him, but if he's there, yo, just communicate with that man and the man too. Communicate with that woman. Like that's all. You feel me? But yeah, I've experienced it to that capacity. But
And what about your son's mom? Is she dating anybody?
she wouldn't tell me. I don't think.
But
she
y'all
would tell me.
besties. What's going on?
That's why she wouldn't tell him.
I don't think she'd tell me.
That's exactly
why she
you.
wouldn't tell
I'm gonna
him.
be real with you. I'm not sure if she's gonna see this, but I think she does, cause she be going on dates with my son. I be like, all right, bro. Like, I be like, all right, sis. I hear you. Like, all right.
So what do you?
Yo.
So if she is dating and she don't want to tell you, why do you think she doesn't want to tell
Yo,
you?
this is my second go around. Like, why don't she want to tell me?
Yeah, she's scared.
Nah, not
Not
scared.
of you, like you're gonna do something to her, but just like afraid of the conflict that can happen.
I think that's what it is. I think it's more. But that's the thing though. That's what she don't know, because this is her first child. For me, I'm like, I've been there, done that. Like, it is what it
seen the
is. Like,
signs
you go,
before,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? You go, and I know those type of hugs, the same hugs. Ain't my fault.
I'm weak. Not the hug.
Like, you feel me? Like, it's cool though. It's like, that's what you. I told her that though. I was like, yo, if that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. We're not together, so. This is what we signed up for. Somebody else is going to be there eventually.
Yeah.
You on the other side of the world. It's not like my daughter, so it's a lot harder now for me to be.
You really
on
wouldn't
some-
know. Yeah, if she on the
I
other side.
don't want to know. That's your business. That's your kid.
don't want
It's
to-
our kid, but that's your kid too. So you do what you do. Like,
But JD, as a stepfather, do you ever feel jealousy when your stepchildren are spending time with their biological father?
No.
Because
I feel like the dad, so I feel like I've sent them to the stepdad. So take
I'm
them. I'm tired.
weak. Not sending them to the stepdad.
Take these kids. I'm tired.
Oh shit.
Take these kids.
He's
weak.
tough. All right. Wow.
Well, then if that's the case, well,
Because the girl I'm dating is the primary parent, so the kids is always around. Go away.
that's a real shit. That's how you know you really are into parenting. And you be like, your kids are annoying. Real parents know their kids are annoying.
Yeah, facts.
Any
step
parent
parent,
that
so I can
sits there and
say
be
that.
like, my children are just the love of my life. My children are annoying. I love them to death, but they're annoying.
I mean,
As
I
soon as
don't
they wake up.
as soon as they wake up, they on
As soon as
time.
they wake up.
I'm thirsty. Like, sit down.
Oh wow.
Well, this is for both of y'all. It's a question. One more for you, JD, and then you can answer also. Are you open to having a cordial relationship with the biological father of your stepchildren, knowing about knowing if he had a past with the baby mother of abuse?
I mean, idealistically, I would. And my situation is probably not going to happen, though. Because
Why
I
is
don't
that?
see that he's changed at all from what I've heard about him, from what I've seen. So it's like, there don't got to be no beef, but if I don't need to speak to you, I'm not going to speak to you.
And if you dated a woman and she had children, and you found out that the baby father was abusive in the past to her or to the children, would you be cordial with him?
All right. Like I said, Bible. You gotta forgive. You know what I'm saying? It's not my place to hold him accountable. You know what I'm saying? I have to have standards and boundaries. So y'all relationship, y'all have to sift through that. All I know is that, especially if he's active, he's around to some capacity, I'm around his children. So I have to have some type of level of cordialness, if that's a word, with him. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would be open to answer the question.
Okay.
That'd be my killer.
I'll answer too, because women could be abusive too. A lot of people don't like to think that way. Women be doing just as much as men do. For me,
Tough. Clip that.
it'll be tough. It'll be tough only because I feel like because men are stronger than women. For a
Says who?
woman, physically, y'all are stronger than
I thought
us.
you meant emotionally. I'm
Physically,
no.
physically. So if a woman really was able to break the man I'm dating down to the point where she was beating his ass,
Oh, okay. You okay? I see
you
what
really
you're saying.
like, you're really crazy. Like you really. I can't fight a man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fact. I feel you.
Have the strength to beat
Women
up a
who beat men
man.
is not because they're stronger than him.
It's because the man doesn't like. Obviously, he doesn't want to fight a woman. He doesn't want to fight back.
Because they be big buff niggas getting beat the fuck up by their 5'2"
I'm the type
girlfriends.
I pick females up. I've picked females up and just put them outside.
Nah,
my
but
crib,
some women
like,
not only be physically abusive,
shake
some
the
women
shit out
also
you.
be
Right.
emotionally manipulative, abusive. Like when a man is, I feel like when men end up in that situation, it's because they're probably already in a vulnerable state when they meet the woman,
They simps.
and then she plays on that.
They simps.
How are they a simp? They could just
No,
be
you
going
talking
through
about
things.
simps. You said they already in that situation because they simps. Like you feel me? Like
I don't think they're simps all the time.
I feel like any woman that feels comfortable enough to put their hands on a man is because she didn't have respect from jump.
That's a good point.
That's
That's
true.
true. That's
You
true.
didn't demand respect from jump. You didn't walk in with the air of you're never gonna do that to me. You feel me? You're a simp.
And that's a one-time thing. You put hands on me, I'm out of there.
It's over. That's
That's
it.
true.
You will never get an opportunity.
And I
the
don't
first hit
think
is
y'all
the
gonna
only hit
leave.
that's
Y'all need
free.
to cut it out. I don't think men leave. I don't want to hear that.
I've never
I'll
been
be-
swung on. I'd be out
I don't
there.
hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Crazy.
Men be staying just as much as women do. Y'all just
be
do it behind
crazy.
closed doors.
I be out.
I ain't saying I'm gonna hit nobody's son.
I'm leaving because I know me. The first 2 hits, you're going to get off. After that.
It's
So,
it's
so
over.
the first
It's
time I
like,
see that,
facts,
I'm
bro.
removing
That-
myself from the situation
I
for your
gotta
safety.
get out of here for
Okay.
your safety
and my freedom. For your safety and my freedom.
I was
He
only saying for the
understands.
men that actually
He
allow the women to
understands.
beat their ass.
He understands.
I'm talking about the one
Like-
that allow them to beat their ass is what I'm talking about. I don't think they're walking away just
Yeah,
as
those, the
simple.
ones that allow it, those are the simps. Those are the guys they like that.
To
Probably.
the women that allow it, what are they? They simps too.
Damn, you gonna make me say some shit that's gonna get me canceled.
No, don't say nothing that's gonna get you canceled. Just be real, but don't be that real.
But don't you? But I was about to say, like we live in the matrix. They don't like real here. Like if I'm keeping the beam with you, this is gonna be crazy.
I like real on my platform, and I'm already getting killed in the comments for being real. So.
If I'm keeping it real with you, I understand everybody's circumstances is different. But if a man is putting his hands on you or has put his hands on you, that's your sign to leave.
It's true.
You have to leave. If you decide to stay, I'm not gonna even finish that statement. If you decide to stay, you decided to stay. And I personally feel like I said, depending on your circumstances, maybe you can't leave. Maybe it's not
Yeah,
that
like he's
easy.
physically holding you hostage.
You feel me? Like that's a different story. However, for the ones that you have no physical restraints or hindrances that's stopping you from, all right, let me get the fuck, this nigga's crazy. I don't know why you're staying. Like,
I could speak for experience. When I went through because I've been in multiple, unfortunately, abusive relationships
Really?
too. Yeah. My
sorry
baby
to
father
hear
and
that.
somebody right after him. For me,
Let's find them.
For what? For me, it was more of what they will. In my experience, they tend to do emotional and verbal first, and the physical comes later. And the physical is never like consistently.
It's definitely a progressive
It's always like they'll hit you once and then go months without doing it. So in your mind, you feel like you can then be comfortable again.
Can I ask you? I'm about to say. So can I ask you a question? Because I've always wanted to understand this. Exactly. Like, all right. So once it gets to that place of it's gotten physical, the domestics, right? Why'd you stay then? Like after?
I mean, when it first happened, I didn't even process it that it really happened. Like, I was young. I met him at 15 years old. So when it first happened, I feel like I was like maybe like 18. No, I was before my daughters when I'm lying. I was like 17.
Okay.
And when it first happened, the way he did it, I didn't think it was as aggressive as like whatever. Like he hit me in the back of my head like this. So I'm thinking in my head like, I don't know. Like in my head, I was just thinking like, oh, he didn't hit me in the face or nothing. Like I started to like manipulate myself. Yes, I manipulated myself to believe that it wasn't nothing crazy because he didn't hit me in my face and he didn't like close fist hit me. He just hit me in the back of my head. So in my mind, I like manipulated myself. So I feel like that's probably what happens with most women. They tend to manipulate themselves. Like, oh, he didn't mean that.
So at what point?
Oh, he was just angry.
At what point? I empathize and sympathize with those kinds of case scenarios. However, like I said, once it becomes a habitual,
no, that's true. You're right. At some point, you do have to get up. You have to get up.
You seen Enough with J-Lo? It's an old movie.
I gotta see that. No, I haven't.
You gotta see that? That's an old movie from the early. You know what I'm talking about.
But I seen the movie about Ike. I seen the movie about Ike and Tina Turner, and she in the back of that. That was me.
That was fire.
When I had enough, that was me in the back of that limousine. We was fighting.
I'm telling you, tonight when you go to the crib, right? Go Prime Video and look up Enough with J-Lo.
Only good movie.
I swear to God, it's an old. It's an early 2000s movie, but she got to that place where he was getting physically abusive. She tried to run. He's following her around. He's tracking her down. And eventually she found a combat coach and fucked that nigga up.
Started training.
Nah, but
She beat that nigga ass.
Funny enough, in my case, what made me leave was my daughters. Like me having not one but two with them. I looked at my daughters and realized like I'm growing two girls. If I don't get out of this, they're gonna grow up to think this is okay.
Think that's all right.
So I forced like I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like if it wasn't for them, I would have stayed in that situation.
That's
like I didn't have the strength mentally to really walk away. But for them, I don't know how I built the strength, but I left. And we had that whatever you just described, we had that kind of scene. And I'm tiny, I'm small.
She almost went crazy.
We really went blow for blow. We was in there, like, don't play with me. And that was the first and the last time, okay?
You almost went crazy.
Yeah, because it took me back, you know? I had to really fight, you know, I wasn't with it.
Count to 10.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, I'm back. Now that we're speaking about, you know, the unfortunate situations like abuse, if you found out that one of your children's step parent was abusing the baby mother, would you just take your kids out of the situation, or would you go for all of them and remove all of them?
You know what's tough about that question is that you really don't have too much space to operate as you may think. Not within legal parameters, at least. I can't do nothing about that. Like, you know, I took 1 semester of legal studies, and I've been in the court system, at least specifically family court and criminal one time, but family court at least enough to learn a few things. And I'm telling you right now, especially when you have court-ordered stipulations and agreements in place, what am I gonna do
can't
about
even just pop up to the house.
I can't do nothing, bro. Like, I would feel like, damn, I wish I could go get my kid out that situation, but I can't. Like, my hands are tied unless you're willing to break the law and, you know, probably have to sit down. And if you sitting down, then that situation is just going to happen again. And you're not there to
But without those rules in place, would you grab your kids only, or would you grab all of them? As far as like removing them out of the situation?
Son's mom or my
She's
daughter's
definitely
mom?
getting left.
She's definitely getting left. It depends on which one we talk about.
I want both. Give me both. Both.
If it was my daughter's mom,
he gonna wait till she behind her though before he kick it in.
I'd be like, all right, bro. See, I told you. My son's mom, though, I'm hopping on the first plane. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that dude immediately. Like, That's really my friend, bro. Like she's really a sweet-hearted, kind woman. I mean, people, oh, why you not with her? It's a me thing. It's not even her. I swear. So
I mean, if I found something like that out, I ain't gonna lie. I'ma laugh.
see, that's what I said. It's different.
I'ma laugh. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask for a video of it. Let me see, girl.
That's
Let me
fucked
see.
up. Oh, shit.
But JD,
That's fucked up.
if you were a step parent,
dear.
if you were the bio father and the step parent, you found all of that out, what would you do? What do you think you would have done?
I'd probably take the mom, even with the bad relationship.
It's kind of
Because my parents weren't always good, and my dad always took care of my mom if he really had to.
Right.
They good now, the kids is grown, but it was rough.
See, I wish I had that. I ain't.
So I feel like it also has to matter how you were raised, like what you were around and stuff like that. Like my mom and dad were married for 30-something years, but my dad had 2 children prior to their marriage. My mom had 2 children prior to their marriage. And my mom didn't like none of the baby moms.
Really?
It took a while. Like it took
That's
years.
probably why you don't like people with kids either.
But it took my mom is cool. My mom is cool with one of them now. She's cool with one of them. The other one, I understand why she don't fuck with her. Like she weird. So I get it. And my dad never spoke to my sister's father. Like he wouldn't allow me to talk to them. Talk to him.
Yeah, see?
So
That's too much.
Yeah, you
for
know your
me,
dad
it's kind of
prideful,
like
though.
I see how
That's
sticky
too
it gets.
much, bro.
So it's like
That's too much. Patty, I'm trying to change and mature and grow and shit. Like, that's why I don't even deal with all that, like, toxicity and, like...
I think it does have a great deal to do with maturity. Definitely.
It does,
like, you have to really put your pride to the side, your ego to the side.
I don't care how old you are.
Yeah.
Maturity is a constant battle every single day. Like, you know, if somebody cuts you off... I legally carry, so when people cut me off, especially when they cut me off and then they try to taunt me, full disclosure, I flash niggas. I be like, word, nigga? And then they try to speed off or slow down. I be like, I'm kind of crazy. Like, but that's not maturity. Like, I had to really work on, like, all right, let me chill, bro. Like, you gotta work through these emotions a little bit differently than, you feel me, like gatekeeping and, oh, you can't talk to the other parent. Why not, bro? Like, you not with her no more.
Yeah.
You accepted everything that comes with that.
Exactly.
So you gotta play co-parent, nigga, and be cool because especially if he's a good dude, your kid's gonna like him.
Exactly.
They gonna like him. My daughter, at least in the early stages, my daughter not talk, so I already know what's up now. But in the early stages, this nigga was phenomenal, according to her.
And kids be knowing tea. When they get older, they be knowing tea.
Kids listen.
I wanted to throw her in that goddamn ball pit when we was at the jump place talking about that shit. I'm like, yo, shut up, bro. What you mean? But
I like Tommy's pancakes more.
you feel what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yo, and kids are mixy with it too.
Kids they don't even
They're
realize that they doing it. I'm be like,
They'll be
yo,
like, well, on
Mommy's fried
Saturday.
chicken isn't dry. What?
Sure, I feel like when it comes on to that, like the dynamic of step parent, biological parent, it's good to have a cordial relationship because kids are very manipulative when they want to be.
OD.
Where they'll tell you like, well,
One
Tommy
thing.
lets me have pancakes on Sundays, Daddy. Why don't you? And then you feel manipulated like, wait.
subconsciously you over there
And now
like,
you
Yeah,
calling
like,
the mom
damn,
with a
now
bad
I'm
attitude.
here
I'm
making
about to fucking make
pancakes.
these pancakes. I'm throwing bananas in this shit. You
And then you
not
talk to the
seeing me.
baby mom, and she's like, "What are you talking about? He never made her no pancakes."
feel me?
Kids are very manipulative. You got to be a united front in all areas of parenting, because children will get in between that if you don't.
Patty, if you want, I could get deep on this podcast right now. And tell you exactly why I don't mess with my daughter's mom.
And we can do it. We got
If you want
some
to.
time. We got some time.
I don't mess with my daughter's mom because during the court proceedings, she made certain allegations that prohibited me from seeing my child for a period of time to where my visits had to be supervised. And now, of course, these things come back unfounded because they're baseless, right? Not truthful at all. And I just feel like despite what our relationship was, once you take it there, there's no coming back. I don't care. Like, I forgive you enough to, you know, we're going to operate
That makes sense.
with
though.
it, but I'm not.
See, exactly. So earlier I said it depends on the
It's
situation.
circumstance. Exactly. That's why I agree
It's
with
something
you.
like
I don't
that.
think I can get over something
yeah,
like that either.
I'm not gonna lie.
Especially because I
Had
want
to,
to be a
I ain't
dad and I
gonna
want
lie.
to be
Had
there.
to, bro.
Yeah, but as far as communication,
though,
I wouldn't
bro.
communicate either.
It hurt,
Because
though.
now
I'd probably do the same
I
thing
would be
you're doing.
worried that if I talk to her, she may lie and say something else in the
Yo,
future.
bro, it was bad. Like,
And was she put in trouble for that? She should have.
she should have been. The only thing that happened was the judge kind of reprimanded her and kind of got at her during the proceeding. Because we were married, so when you're married and
It's different.
you go through a divorce, everything is all inclusive. Child support, custody, stipulation, arrangement, all that shit is all inclusive. It's all in there. So this is my speculation. I think their biggest thing was achieving what they eventually achieved, which was getting a higher rate in child support because they was under the impression that I'm making a lot more money than I was reporting. So what ends up happening is the judge is on some, let's wrap this shit up because it's done.
Yeah.
There's no assets to split. There's nothing here other than just figuring out
Visitation
visitation,
and child
exactly.
support,
For me,
that's
and
it.
child support.
Yeah.
And child support was already established. So they were just doing, they as an opposing counsel was just doing anything they could to prolong the case. So the first thing she ever did, randomly out of nowhere, mind you, we don't speak. I'm in fear for my life. Cops show up at my crib. I can't see my daughter for almost 11 days. My lawyer got it consolidated because she did it in a different county, the complaint. She got it consolidated and put back into Rockland County. Judge threw that shit out immediately. Second thing she did, I think, well, my daughter, she said my 3-4-year-old daughter is telling her that daddy is doing X, Y, and Z with me.
Yeah, that alone.
Word.
Yeah.
I will never fuck with you again, bro.
Yeah, that's
I will
crazy.
never fuck with you again. Like, for the sake of my daughter, we be cool enough to, you alive.
Yeah.
To be next to each other for
feel
graduation.
me?
And that's
Like, you feel
crazy.
me?
That's
Like-
crazy because my situation with my baby father was
That's
similar to
nasty.
that, but it wasn't.
Word,
I didn't.
right?
I didn't make any accusations against him. Me and him used to always get into physical altercations. Obviously, he was abusive, and I used to fight back at some point.
That's facts.
One day we're in the street. One day he's like following me in his car, telling me to get in the car. I'm saying no, I'll walk, and I was walking, and then he gets out the car and approaches me. So I swing. I ain't gonna lie. I swung first. You pulling up on me, I'm swinging.
Hey, facts.
I
What you
swung
gotta
and
do?
he swung, but when he swung, he like hit me in the forehead and I like nicked me with something. So I called the cops, of course. When the cops come, I assumed it was a screwdriver. That's just my assumption. I don't know what it was. I just know he had something in his hand that was silver and sharp. So because my kids were in the car, they was like basically told me you either get an order of protection to protect you and your kids, or we're gonna call ACS because at this point you're allowing your kids to be in danger.
To be in danger, exactly.
So?
And that's the shit.
I got the order of protection, and then he kept on going against the order of protection every single time. So I think at one point he couldn't
That's
see my daughters for
crazy.
years. I think it was like 2 years he couldn't see my daughters at one point.
That's tough. See what I'm saying? Like, we fought our shit though. I was paying the supervisor $200 every Monday to see my daughter for 4 hours for 2 months straight. I mean, excuse me, for 2 hours to see my daughters. It was bad, bro. I'm like, I can't even be like. I had a moment too at the very end of our divorce when everything was said and done. This is like a year later, and I asked like, "Yo, you really think I would do it?" And she said, "Dajour, when it comes to my kids, I'm gonna protect them."
That's not protecting them.
I was like, that was the most narcissistic, elusive.
That's a fact.
I was like, yo, you're.
That's not protecting
My
your
thing
child.
is, why are you fighting for more money if I'm going to be around? Whatever the kids need, I'm going to be there
Because
to
you
help
homie.
provide
Yo,
for.
bro,
Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, when my child support went up, because I don't know if y'all know how child support works in New York.
I mean, I had child support before,
Yes.
and he
It's a
when
math
he told him
equation.
he didn't have a job, they was giving me $67 a week.
So
For 2 kids.
I didn't get that option, right? Because I didn't know better. So at the time, my businesses were generating like a little over $500,000 a year. I didn't know that when you own a business by yourself, for child support and alimony purposes, the courts will look at the business's income as your personal income as well too. So when in discovery, when they found my business records and what I was making, my child support was really supposed to be almost $6,000 a month.
for one kid.
For one kid, 17%.
And you
Right.
can't, and you gotta like, it's
I
mad
fought
things
for
you
that,
gotta do
though.
behind under the
I
table.
fought my
Yeah.
ass off. So my child support now is like $1,300-$1,400 a month.
That's a lot. That's money rent.
I know. The first check I ever cut, when that shit got raised, my daughter came home. Daddy, mommy got a big TV.
Oh my god. I feel
Kids
like,
is nasty,
listen,
bro.
Damn, man, like,
listen.
She might have told your daughter to say that.
when it
She
comes
probably dead,
when
bro.
it comes onto child support, I think they need to make a debit card, right? That it
I
literally
said the
shows
same
what you
thing.
pay
The
for.
transactional history of what
it
you're
show what
doing.
you pay for.
You know, you got the medical card for your health insurance. You can only do medical
Exactly.
swipe. They
Now, I
didn't
ain't
do
gonna
that
lie.
shit.
If I was getting that kind of money, I'm not gonna hold you. I think I would probably just use it to the rent and everything else pay for the kids. Because that's because I do my part as a mother and make
feel
sure
what
my
I'm
kids be
saying?
good. They got clothes, they got shoes, they got everything.
Yo, she be
But
violating, bro.
if they see that, then that contributes to your child having a home to live in. So that's one thing. Versus if you're getting your hair done, your nails done, going out of town.
telling you, shorty lit. She be lit. I
I know
said
she
it in
living
one
her
of my
best. And she got a
songs.
new man. Her man be living their best life with that.
Yo, what? Come on, bro. My daughter used to, I swear to God.
She better be smart and be budgeting with
I
that
put it
though.
on
Like,
my
don't be
life.
stupid.
I think if you'll get that, yeah.
My
be
daughter used
smart
to
with
come
it.
home and tell me, yo, daddy, mommy says she's getting. I'm not like unprovoking. I'm not asking.
Yeah.
Like you said, kids is mixy.
Yeah, very.
Daddy, mommy said we get a new house. I bet.
On daddy
You feel
down.
me? Like, you
I'm
feel
paying
me?
half the
I'm
mortgage
paying
on
it
that
down.
shit.
I'm paying it down on it. Like, what's up? Like, nah, bro. So, my son's mom is the polar opposite. She won't let me pay for nothing. I have to. I'll show you a message right now from today, like, or yesterday. Yo, can you please use my credit card that I gave you to buy him something for me? Because I'm not in London with you guys. All right, sure, I could do that. She does not want my bread, bro.
She probably not. She don't care. She be chilling. Cause like even
the
with me, I ain't
craziest
gonna
thing.
lie. In the beginning, I used to take my father to child support because I was mad. I'm young. I'm like, yo, you making me do this on my own. Now he picks and chooses when he want to send me money. He'll send me like $100 here, $100 there. I'll accept it. I move on. I don't care. It's not that deep for me. Cause at the end of the day, my kids know what's up. My kids, they're like you said, they're mixy. My daughters would dead say to me like, I can't even get candy from the store because daddy don't even got $2. Like what the hell? Like I'm like, yo, you gotta chill out.
I had those
Like my
conversations
kids
too.
are mixed, and my kids are bougie. Like my daughter is in middle school now. She wants what is it? A tote bag from Marc Jacobs. She wants that as a book bag.
shit.
My daughter wants designer things now. So the fact that he can't do it, that's between him and them. Now you're gonna have to explain to your daughter why you can't do certain things.
Right. Why you can't show?
And then one time he got me mad because he even told my daughter, like, my daughter came to me, she's like, Mom, Dad said he gave you $100 for me. I said, tell your dad that $100 is $100 too short. Don't play with me.
My daughter will come to me and tell me, "Oh, mommy said I can't get this because you haven't sent her money yet."
That's why
I
do
like-
people do that?
That's so nasty.
That's
you do-
weird.
Like, you feel me?
That's
Like, why are you? My baby, my daughter's mom is like.
And if you're dependent on my bread, then the kids shouldn't be with you. They should be with me full time. If you gotta depend on my bread.
And that was a question I was gonna ask. Why aren't men taking their kids full time more?
We can't.
Well, my dad's fault. I had to sit in court with my
Why
siblings.
can't y'all?
My
Like,
dad's
yo,
fault.
Okay, well, give how your dad got y'all because
Well,
a lot of men keep saying this.
I remember
so
you
hard,
have to.
though.
He
It's
saved
hard, bro.
receipts.
But why not? If you
for
know your
everything that
child
he
is
paid for.
Listen,
you got to
listen
save
to
it. This
bro,
man
bro.
had receipts for like 3 years of shit. We was staying with my dad. My mom had, I think, full custody, like on paper. So he was still giving her child support, and we was living with my dad for like a year at the
He's
time.
smart. That's what he's supposed to do.
Okay,
And
I
then for
understand.
that last, and
I
then
don't
we went
take
to court,
away.
and they just asked us who you want to stay with. It was like, well, he taking care of us, so we staying with dad.
How old was
But my thing is,
Older sister was probably like 15,
That's why.
around that age. We was a little older.
That's why.
yeah,
'Cause
but
my
they asked
parents
that regardless.
split.
Because when I was going through court of
I was
custody,
8
they
and my
asked my
sister was
daughters
10
who they
when
want to
they
live
first
with,
split. So we was
and
already
they
a
were
little
young.
older.
They
My
were
daughter
like
was 4.
6 at the
I'm
time.
telling you right now. I guess it depends on the court and the judge then, but I'm gonna tell you right now. The family court system is not set up for men to win
all.
anything, and that's not speculation.
And
That's
that's
just
sad.
that's
That's
a fact.
unfortunate.
fact.
So
Because
when you-
there are
when you-
some
when
women
you
that are
ask-
abusive, that don't treat their children well,
When you
that
ask
don't
that
deserve
question,
to have their kids.
when you ask that question of how come you don't, I would take my daughter full time. I tried. Like I was like, yo, listen, sweetheart, like I'll take her. Like that's my bestie. You feel me? Like when I was in the military, I'm in Fort Drum. Me and her was taking the 4-hour ride down and back up together. She's a baby sleeping in the back. I pull over, feed her real. Like that's my bestie. Like I said on the other podcast, like my son is my nigga. But my daughter, that's my nigga. Like,
But, would you,
feel me?
but now that your daughter's growing and getting older, would you? What if she says to you one day when she's like 12, like, "Daddy, I want to live with you"? Would you then at that point
Yo,
fight the fight to get
so
her?
not no toxic shit. I told my daughter like a few months ago. I said, "Baby, listen, Daddy might be," because I always told myself I'm moving out of New York by the time my daughter's 9 years old. When she's old enough, because my daughter's very. I know we all say this about our kids, but my
Intelligent.
daughter is
Yeah.
very advanced. Like all kids, pretty much, mostly this generation. So when I told her that, I said, "Yo, if you want to come live with Daddy, you know, just say that and we'll figure it out." And she's like, "Oh, Mommy said the same thing." I said, "Well, never mind then." You know what I'm
But
saying?
said the same as far as
Like
what?
if you want to come live with me later when you get older and see
so
Daddy.
so she'll let you take her.
No, she said Mommy told her straight up, like, Mommy told me, like, if you want to live with me more than Daddy when you get older. You
Because
feel
she
what I'm
want
saying?
more money. She don't want that little girl. She want more money. Sorry,
She gonna drag
it
us
sounds
out
like she
till
want more money.
18 or
You feel
21,
what I'm saying?
whatever.
Because funny enough, I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. I told him one time me and my father got into an argument years ago, and I was like, "How about this? Take them kids for a year. I'm gonna send you the random $100 here and there, like you send me, and you tell me how you feel."
I really wish that was how it went though, because I'm
But he
good.
kept saying to me, at first he was like, you know, I can't do that. I'm not working. I'm not this. Not that. Then eventually he says,
shut up and pay the child
eventually he
support.
said he would.
Right.
Eventually he said he would, but he said this, I'm gonna give them to my mom. Like he was gonna give them to his mother and have his mother have the burden of taking care of them. And I said, that's selfish. I'm not saying for your mom to take care of them. I'm saying for you to take care of them.
It's tough. That's a tough one because, like I said, like I personally, at least my daughter, like my son, the reason he's not in New York is because his mom will not let him go. That's the only reason. Like she's incapable of being separate from him. So it's like
That's her first baby.
that's her first
why.
and only baby. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I respect. I like that was a challenging thing for me because I was like, this is my only son.
Yep.
Let me
Is
see.
she willing
Like,
to move up here?
she was when we was together, but we not together. So it's like I'm not.
If that's where her family's from and stuff, then
You feel me?
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, I had to respect it. I have to live with the idea that, or with the reality that I'm gonna see my son when he come out here, when I go out there. Like,
Yeah.
you feel me? And she's open to the idea when he gets older, you know, I'll let him. But for right now, like, I really need to and want to be in his life. And I'm like, honestly, we have such a dope relationship that I'm like, you know what? I'm the man, so we always got to take the short end
But
of the
this is
stick.
why
You
I feel
me?
like I
it's
feel like
aight.
black
Such
people,
is
if we
life.
want to change the system, we got to get and be a part of the system. That's the only way to
Nah,
change.
nah,
You
it's
don't
not
think
even
so?
that. It's we have to get systemized ourselves, but we're never gonna do that. And that, for me,
That's
that
a good
conversation gets spiritual. I feel like we're incapable of doing that because of spiritual reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you study the scriptures and you really read, like, that's a part of our curse. Like, we're
Yeah.
not gonna get it right until the second coming happens.
Mm-hmm.
My personal opinion, like, that's just me being real. It's one of our curses for
I've heard that.
our
I've heard
ancestors
that, though.
turning
Yeah.
their back on God as many times
Yeah.
as He's delivered us from poverty and subjugation and so on and so forth.
Mm.
Like, it's like we're paying for those wrongs. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think we're gonna get it right. I don't think black culture, black community ever comes together for one idea unless it's something that's negative.
It's always for negativity.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unless it's something negative.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not talking about drugs in your music, if you're not twerking, if you're not.
But this is why I'm trying with my platform to create that space for us to come together. And even if it's something small, I'll try my best to do it. Like,
I feel you.
because at the end of the day, we gotta do something. We can't just keep letting this happen.
Listen, I say, like, at the end of the day, God forbid I pass anytime soon. If I've just affected one person with my lyrics and my music, with my lifestyle, with my mentorship, or just anything at all, if I've affected you in any kind of positive way, I did what I was destined to do on this earth. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? And it is my kids, like, you know what I mean? I'm in school right now, double majoring, just because I want to show my kids you can have an entrepreneurial career, you can have a 9-to-5, and you can go to school. And you can still be a parent.
You're giving them options.
You feel me? Like, I want you to know that you're not limited. You feel me? So I got to get those degrees on the wall because it's like, I want to show them that. You feel me? So I feel you.
Man, even though you said you feel like black people, we can't come together because of our curse spiritually. Do you feel like
they
there's
gonna clip
advice
that
you
up and
could?
kill you.
No, but see, and that's the thing that's annoying. They don't get it. They don't get it. Like, people don't get it. Like, even y'all already know, but the last stupid thing they on my behind about. But whatever. We're not gonna even.
We got to adjust that, though, before we get out of here, too.
First off, I thought it was common sense with me being black that I was talking about white America. But clearly you have to literally say everything perfectly for
Gotta be
people to
specific.
understand. Like, people, but I also, and it may kill me for saying this, I feel like to some degree, we always make it about us, and it's not always about us. When I said America has no culture, I'm thinking common sense will say I'm not talking about black people. But automatically everybody ran down and was like, oh, black America is the culture. Duh, that's common sense. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about palm-colored people. Without us, without the brown side of the hand.
Said
Palm-colored people don't have culture. They don't. That's a fact. And you're not going to change me from saying
That's
that.
my
But
fault.
also, that conversation in itself was solely only about Caribbean black people. So a lot of them got offended by feeling like we feel superior to people that are American. That's not the case. We obviously live in America. I'm here in America.
We all come here.
Like,
I-
it sounds crazy.
I'm going to be real with you. Like, I try not to indulge or verbally or outwardly speculate too much on topics that I'm not too educated on. But I have a belief that we're the original Jews and Muslims.
That's the truth. I believe that
You
too,
feel me?
100%.
So, like, for
The
me,
Israelites, we were the Israelites, right?
all right,
Y'all
cool.
are
This is
outta
getting
here, this
crazy.
episode.
This
Y'all are
episode is
outta
getting
here.
crazy.
I believe in that too. I believe we were the original Jews. I believe that wholeheartedly as well.
With that being said, when people say I'm African American, I be like, that's good for you. Like, I know, I just feel like my origins are derivative of a different. You feel me? But like I said, I'm not invested enough or educated enough to be able to speak on it. So I'll just leave that there and say that also, and add that you do have to be very specific in today's day and age. You have to,
because people are slow.
Not even just that. We're in a very censored
I don't give a damn about
frame.
sensitivity. People are
It's
slow.
not even. It's just
I don't care.
censorship. Censorship. Not even just
damn.
sensitivity. It's censorship. It's like you gotta.
We need to cut that shit out. I'm sorry.
We do, but we can't.
I'm talking about the niggers. We need to do better with each other.
Again.
She get
Again.
But black people need to do better. I don't care. Black people need to do better. We need to stop with that sensitive shit towards one another. Like, cut that shit out.
I was trying to tell you, we're not
I'm
going
black.
to. We're not going to.
We're cursed,
I am
remember?
black.
We're cursed.
When I made the comment I made, I am black. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I'm not Candace Owens, nigga. Like, relax.
And you know what's crazy? You mentioned her. It goes back to what I said out there. I think a big part of what we're dealing with is not necessarily ethnic culture, more so colorism, right? Because people obviously see that you're black,
But also, when you do, sorry to cut you off.
when you say what you say,
when you do a job application and they ask African American / black, which box do you fill in?
I'm not gonna lie, me personally, because of my name and shit, I be filling in a whole nother. I be clicking other. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, aside from you, naturally, what do you think black people will put in?
They have to put that.
Okay.
Because when Jaquisha shows up.
But regardless, they literally box us in together 100%. As that.
Do you know our socials? Our socials tell companies and corporations what our ethnicity is off jump already.
Well, listen, just to clarify for y'all, because clearly my words didn't get across, and that's the thing that also was getting me tight too, because a lot of them was like, "How you backtrack?" And I'm like, first off, watch the full episode. 2, one thing I'm not gonna ever do is have y'all think that I'm ever gonna backtrack on anything I say. What I say is what I say, and I'm gonna always stand on it, whether y'all like it, don't like it. I genuinely don't care.
Jersey, nigga.
I genuinely don't care. But when I was talking, because I initially asked the question and the young lady responded. I initially asked the question, the young lady responded. And then I said something like, we need to go back home. When I was talking about going back home, I'm talking about black people going back home, the motherland. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. But they took it as, oh, you're talking about your country. I'm technically American. I was born on American soil.
African, though?
Huh?
Do you feel like we're African? Like black people in America, you feel like our origins is...
I mean, I recall the history book saying we was brought here on slave ships, right?
From where, though?
They say Africa. Most of them say Africa. Right? I don't know. We will never know. Let's really talk about it. We'll never know.
Facts.
Because they're going to always lie to us and make us feel like they're going to always put us in... If we ever really learned where we really truly are from, you know how dangerous that would be?
Yeah, of course.
So we will never know. We only know what our grandma told our other grandma that told our other grandma that got passed down to us.
A person that found themselves know themselves. You stand for something to fall for anything. You know what I mean? Like, once you understand your origins, you have capacity for resolve. So,
but how do you learn that? Do you go because ancestry? I feel like that's some bullshit too.
You read the scriptures. Like it's about what your spiritual preference is, right? So, like funny story. My son's mom is actually very, very, very much Muslim. Like very much, like she's super Quran, Allah, this, that, and the third. And we've had the religious conversation, and she won't like. You ask her, our son is Muslim. You ask me, I'd be like, yo, he's 1. Relax, bro. Like let him grow in his own spirituality.
Does she want him to practice it?
But I think it also matters what you
does she want him to practice it?
She does, but she also respects me enough to have certain conversations. Like there's certain things like you know, Eid is coming up, right? And I know right now it's Ramadan. They're fasting and shit like that. So. She's doing that, but of course she's not subjecting a 1-year-old to that. You feel me? Like there's that level of understanding. Yeah. But my fear becomes like, all right, later on, especially if you go to the UK, that's a very big, it's super, it's heavy African and Jamaican culture in London, heavy, and all of them are Muslim.
Wow.
All of them are Muslim, bro. All of them. And it's like, you can't escape it. That is the culture out there. Yeah. You feel me? So
it's the biggest religion. So.
If he stays there.
You feel me saying? Facts. So, but to answer your question, no, read the scripture. The Bible says that only a third is going to make it anyway. So if the message hasn't revealed itself to you, it's because maybe you're not a part of the third. Sorry to be so harsh. Just being real. Like, you feel me? When you read the scriptures, you don't read it like a book.
And I also was confused why so many black Americans that were in the comments were going so hard for America.
I don't think I read some of the comments. I don't think they was going hard for America. I think it's just the outlet, bro. You literally was just an outlet for people to just vent whatever the fuck they felt like saying. You didn't say. I watched the clip. I don't feel like you said anything wrong personally. I'm not just saying that.
I feel like the only people that felt the way is people that I felt like they were projecting. Like you're obviously feel how you feel because I never said. And the way they had was if I did say black culture without like if I said something along the lines of what they described, of course,
saying black culture.
I never said that. I never said that. I would never say that. I said there is no America has no culture. I said America, period.
America has no culture.
I never said black people. I never said black America. I never said none of that because it's common sense that we are the trendsetters. That's common sense. Screw the fact that you may be from this place, I may be from this place. We are the trendsetters naturally. All of us. If
we're gonna call it black culture influences every vector, every sector of everything in the world.
Exactly.
Everywhere. Outside of America.
But that's common sense.
But I get where they coming from in the comments or some like, how you gonna say America has no culture? But at the same time, what they're not understanding is your message of America holistically outside of black culture. So that's why I was telling you, you do gotta be specific because you gotta baby these motherfuckers. They not... But that's your job, though. That's what you signed up to do.
No,
You
I'm
here.
not that kind of podcaster.
But you have to.
I'm
Also,
not.
you do.
I'm not saying you have.
I'm
I'm not saying you have to
water
censor.
down or
I'm not.
maybe.
No. I'm not saying water down or sensitize or censorship. I'm saying more so you have to give a little bit more context.
That's fair. I'll do that.
That's all I'm saying.
Going in the future, I'll give more
Remember,
context.
this is a new platform, so your audience
I'll
gotta
give more.
learn you.
I will give more context.
That's all.
But
Outside of black culture, America has no
pacifier
culture.
everyone because something may not sound right that I say? Absolutely not. That
feel
will
that.
never happen
I
on this
feel that.
platform. This
You-
is real. We
yeah.
having tough conversations that are uncomfortable for the black community. We're gonna talk about it. I'm talking about a lot of things that's gonna make a lot of our skin crawls. But we got to do it.
Don DeMarco, nigga.
What?
Fuck out of shit like that.
But listen, we don't got that much time left, so I want to gift you both something before we go, and I wrote something down for you guys as well. I tend to do that. So I want to take a moment. I'm gonna gift you both. You both are gonna walk away with crowns, and this is to give you guys your flowers while y'all are here for being
word.
amazing fathers. You're an entrepreneur. You're a rapper, a singer. You know, JD. He likes to be behind the scenes, but him being a step parent,
I sing too, guys.
A step parent, and being a step parent is still something. So y'all definitely gonna have these crowns just to remind y'all of that and
I
appreciate
appreciate
that.
that.
You
Thank
know?
you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I
This
appreciate y'all
platform
being
is one
here.
of the
being
best
honest.
platforms I've been on. I'm gonna let you finish, but this platform is one of the best platforms I've been on all time.
And also, I want to leave the viewers with, I like to leave them affirmations for the week. So we have 3 affirmations that tie into this episode. First one is, I embrace my role in my family's journey, fostering love and understanding in every relationship. Second one is, I choose to communicate openly and respectfully, creating harmony between all family members. And the last one is, I celebrate the unique bonds we share, knowing that love transcends traditional family structures.
I like that.
So yeah, y'all got some things to look forward to and say in the mirror or whatever. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you for having me.
And viewers, like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube if you like my content, or you don't. I don't give a damn.
Pattie J.
My personal page is I am Pattie J, and my business page, as you guys can see, Pass Down Your Crown podcast. Thank you. Until then, bye.
Arrivederci.